Hey gang, welcome to Facts and Firearms. My name is Massad Ayoob. We listened to you guys and gals' comments. When we did a series on speed reloading the revolver and reloading it in a wounded officer or wounded defender situation, one hand only with either hand, got a lot of folks saying, when are you going to show us that kind of stuff for semi-auto pistols? Well, today's the day. With the auto, it's a whole lot easier to reload than the revolver. It's seen here, by the way, with the frame of the Glock 19 Gen 3 stripped, simply for the fact that some of these things are best seen from the front. I'm not going to point even an unloaded gun at the cameraman, and his peace of mind is a concern as well as safety. Now, it would sound simple. Get the magazine out, get the fresh battery into the machine, turn on the machine, and go back to business. I always like to quote the great architect Ludwig Mies van der Rohe on this. We've all heard people say the devil is in the details. Sometimes God is in the details. It's the little things that let you smooth up a function and speed it up. Now, this is a complex psychomotor skill, a chain of events in which each link in the chain has to be done properly, or the whole chain is going to break. So basically what we're looking for, first, where is the magazine going to be? We strongly suggest you carry it bullet noses forward. I carry it behind the hip because I normally carry concealed, and unless you're wearing a closed front garment, it would otherwise become visible and alarm people. In any case, you want the bullet noses pointed forward. The reason for that is, with the bullet noses to the rear, you can get a good grip on it, you can get it indexed into the gun, but then as you're starting to insert, if you look at my hand, all that's driving the magazine is the little finger and a little bit of the heel of the hand. Ask yourself, did you ever load or reload your pistol and you thought it was reloaded, but you got a click instead of a bang because the magazine wasn't all the way in? If the bullet noses are forward, now as the hand comes down, the palm hits the floor plate, thumb and middle finger, two strongest digits on the hand, get a good grip, particularly important if it's close to the body and concealed carry. And the index finger is here at the front of the pouch, corresponding with where the bullet nose of the topmost cartridge would be. Now as we come up, we just turn the hand palm up, and look at the difference. Look how much more flesh and bone is driving that magazine in, from here to here. Now we have a much more positive insertion into the gun, and the hand flows right up either to hit the slide release or to do the tug, whichever you prefer, and we'll discuss that in a minute. Now, key thing, we found most people, once it gets past 3 or 4 rounds, are going to lose count. Don't try to count your rounds, particularly with a higher capacity semi-auto. Usually the first awareness when it's gone high volume that the gun is empty is the shooter is pulling the trigger, oh my God, my gun's jammed, no it isn't, it's locked open empty. Okay. Ideally you'd want to reload when you want to, not when you have to. And in that situation, you may have a few rounds left in this magazine. We don't know where this fight is going. You might need those rounds later. So don't throw away the 3 or 4 rounds you might have here. A whole lot of times that gun's going to be in our hand. Maybe we picked it up from a friend when we were someplace we couldn't carry. Maybe you heard the bump in the night, grabbed the gun and didn't bring spare ammo. You don't want to dump that magazine in the 3 or 4 whatever rounds are left until you've got a firm grip on the spare magazine. Now go ahead and dump it. Typically, most shooters are right-handed with a magazine release on the left. I find it hard to get there, particularly since arthritis has twisted my right thumb out significantly. You wouldn't point the gun down. I'm doing this so you can see what I'm doing. Turn the hand on the gun and bring the proximal joint of the index finger under the grip tang. That brings the thumb forward. Now you've got way more range of movement to dump the magazine. Now, as we come back, we're going to bring the gun back toward us. A good felt index is when the tricep touches the bicep. Now this spare mag is going to be coming up at about 45 degrees, so rotate the gun butt 45 degrees. We slide in, we feel it close, the hand slides right back in a firing position. I hit both thumbs because I often change guns. On the Sig Sauer, the slide stop's here, the Glock it's here, 1911 or Beretta, it might be here. One of these is going to hit it. If you're a southpaw, what we're going to do is we're going to dump the magazine with the trigger finger, which also gets the finger out of the trigger guard for safety. I wouldn't lower it. I just did that so I wouldn't drop a live mag on the ground. Okay. As we insert here, these 4 fingertips become a spear hand, come up here. One of them is going to hit that slide stop, and we're back to here. With a Sig Sauer, where it's profoundly to the rear, I'd come up across the back of the knuckles, hit it, and pivot back. Now, you can simply do a slide tug. We found in studies that takes a master shooter, an expert shooter, a good 0.8 of a second longer than it does to simply hit the slide stop. With new shooters, less experienced shooters, shooters who don't practice as much, the difference is going to be much greater. The reason is the person who's not doing it all the time and not habituated, the movements tend to be kind of hesitant and robotic. We found hitting the slide stop can take as much as 2 seconds or more off the reload time for a new shooter or a non-dedicated shooter. So basically, that's what we're looking for. Now, I don't want to see you lowering the gun to here. That's a holdover from the old revolver days when we had to reload from cartridges and belt loops and dump pouches. That was where the ammo was. We had to bring the gun down. Here, it's just wasted movement, and it's also telegraphing to an opponent that you're out of the fight for a while. I will ask you, please, when you're reloading, not to do this thing that I've seen on the internet. Supposedly, it's so you can look the fresh magazine into the butt. 2 problems with that. One is range safety, and one is real-world field safety. We've all seen auto forwarding. It can occur with any auto, some more likely than others. The first generation Smith & Wesson M&Ps were notorious for it. When the magazine slams in, the slide comes forward by itself. If something we see all the time often, someone forgot and left their finger on the trigger when they did the reload. The confluence of those 2 things, as the slide slams forward, see how it pulls the gun forward, and it pulls the trigger against the finger, and a bullet leaves the range. We can't have that. It's not safe. The second thing that I worry about, you are in a fight, and you do this hand signal. This is a universal signal to your opponent. My gun is empty. Here's your chance. I'm helpless. This is the time to murder me. And that's not a message I want to send to the opposing side. So, seen here safely with a stripped gun, the reload that we're looking for is going to keep the gun on the axis of the threat. Last shot's been fired. First, we get finger off trigger. Get to here, dump, insert, and come back. These thumbs come down and hit the slide stop on the way, or you can do the slide tug if you don't mind taking a little extra time. People will tell you that the slide tug is better because it's gross motor and hitting the slide stop is fine motor. Take your hands like this, go from here to here. You're going to tell me that was threading a needle or something. It's still gross motor. And if you can't hit a slide stop, how did you manage to hit this even smaller button to eject the empty mag and clear a path for the fresh one to begin with? And that's before we start talking about the 16 times you had to work this little lever. Okay, emergency reload. We're at slide lock. We're going to turn on the electronic gunshot timer. When it beeps, that'll be my signal that I've run out of ammo and I need to reload. I'll fire a shot once we're reloaded. Pistol's a Gen 5 Glock 19. It's been modified by flipping the mag release to the right side, so an elderly cripple with a crippled right thumb from arthritis can use the trigger finger instead. Start with the finger on the trigger like it would be if you just fired your last shot. time was 2.96 seconds, including reaction time, so figure take a quarter second off of that. Elderly cripple with arthritis, you guys can probably do it faster with a little bit of practice. Good luck.